Welcome back, everyone. So we left off with you guys trying to attempt this problem, and this problem was a little bit trickier because our slope was not a whole number. This time our slope was a fraction. So let's go ahead and review this one to make sure you guys understand it. You are exercising on a treadmill. Your goal is to burn 256 calories, and you are burning 64 calories every 9 minutes. Okay? All right. So our goal is to burn 256 calories. So we haven't actually done that yet. We didn't start there. So think about when you start exercising. Have you burned any calories? No, you haven't burned anything. So when you start exercising, you start at 0 calories. Okay, so our y-intercept is going to be 0. And then we are burning 64 calories every 9 minutes. So this is my slope. Okay, so our equation this time is actually going to be y equals 64 over 9x. Okay, that's it. That's our slope. Okay, so what does our slope represent in our equation? It represents how many calories we burn every 9 minutes, or just calories burned. Okay. All right, and then what does our y-intercept represent? It represents our starting calories burned. Which would be 0. Okay. All right, and how many calories will you have burned in 5 minutes? So like always, we are just going to take this number and substitute it in for our x. So y would equal 64 over 9 times 5. Okay? And then you would need a calculator, and I forgot to grab one, so pause. Okay, so 64 times 5 will give you 320 divided by 9 is going to give you 35.555, but we're just going to put 35.5 calories. Okay? Because remember, you always have to include your units. Alright, and how long will it take for you to burn 256 calories? So since we are looking to burn 256, which was our goal, we're going to set it equal to our equation. Remember that? Okay? And then we have to multiply by our reciprocal, which means that we flip our fraction. So 256 times 9 over 64 equals x. So I'm going to do 256 times 9, which is going to give me 2,304 divided by 64 equals x. And then divide it by 64, and we're going to get x equals 36 minutes. Okay? Alrighty, and don't forget we still have to graph. So we start at 0, 0 because our y-intercept is 0. And then this one is already got its scale for us. So we're going to go up to 64 and over to 9. Okay? And then we're going to go up 64 and over 9, which would be 18. Up 64 over to 9, which would be 27. Okay? And as long as we continue to exercise, we will continue to burn calories, which is why we put an arrow there. Okay? Alrighty. I know this is a lot, but it's not as horrible as you thought, right? Or maybe it is. Who knows? But on your milestone, remember, if it is multiple choice, always make sure that your units are correct, because that's where they like to trip you up. Okay, so we were on page 33, so now we're going to go to page 34, because you see 33, so now we're going to page 34. Oh goodness, get that out of here. Okay. Alright, so we are here. Okay. Alright, so this is just all of the different representations we can use to describe a linear equation. So first we have our verbal description. we have an equation, we have a table of values, and we have a graph. All right, so for verbal description, when a tow truck is called, the cost of service is $10 plus $1 per mile that the car must be towed. So we are going to write and graph linear equation to represent the total cost of the towing service, which is dependent on the number of miles the car is towed. And remember, dependent is our x. Okay? Alrighty. So we are going to define our variables. Okay? Defining our variables just means what are your units. Okay? So what is your y unit? If we start at $10, then our unit is going to be dollars. Okay? And then what's our x unit? If it's $1 per mile, it's going to be miles. Okay? Alrighty, so now we want to write our equation. So as always, y equals, and then what's my slope? It's $1 per mile, so it's just going to be 1. And then we'll put our x, and then what did we start with? $10. Or we can write it as y equals x plus 10. Okay? Alrighty. So now we're going to do our table of values, which requires your calculator. Okay? So you will want this yellow calculator. Let me make sure that we can see it okay. There we go. All right, we can see it a little bit better. Okay? So you want to press this table button here. Okay? So we're going to press table. And you can't really see it, but you can kind of see it. It says y equals. So this is where we're going to type in our equation. So you want to press X, which is, let me scoot this up. So our X button is right here. So we want to press X and then plus 10. Okay? All right. And then you want to press enter. You always want to start at 0. You want your step to be 1. You want it to be on auto, and okay. So each time I'm pressing enter to get to the next blinking step. And then once you get to okay, you'll press enter again, and it gives you your table of values, okay? So our x's are on the left, our y's are on the right. So we would do 0, 1, 2, just copying it exactly as we see it, and then 10, 11, 12. Okay? And these are our points to graph. So 0, 10, 1, 11, 2, 12. Okay? And then we have to make sure that we have our scale. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then remember that these are miles. I'm only going to 10 because this pen is kind of fat. Okay, all right, and then for our y's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, oh no, 8, 9, 10. Again, my pen is kind of fat, so it's kind of hard to do it. But our y's are in dollars. Okay, all right, so we start at 0, 10. Oh wait, I should have started, oh well, it's fine. So I should have started at 10, if I'm being perfectly honest, but that's okay, because this will still work, okay? And then we go up to 11, and then each time just 1 over 1. Rise 1, right 1, rise 1, right 1, rise 1, right 1. Okay? And we can put an arrow because we can continue to go however many amount of miles, and it will cost however many amount of dollars. Okay? That is an awfully cheap towing service, but wouldn't that be nice? Excuse me. Alrighty. So now let's take a look at our t-shirt shop. Okay? So, verbal description. New job at the custom tee shop where t-shirts are printed to order. For each order, they charge $8 per shirt plus a one-time setup fee of $15. So anytime you have a one-time setup fee, that's going to be your y-intercept. It's your starting value. So we're going to go ahead and write our equation first this time because our setup fee is $15. So then what would our slope be? Good. It should be $8 per shirt, because again, anytime you see per, that's going to be our slope. So we have 8x plus 15. Okay? All right, and what do my y's represent? Dollars. And what about my x's? Shirts. Because it is dollar per shirt. Okay? Alrighty. Table of values. Go back to your handy dandy calculator. Okay? If you want to get out of your table, you hit second mode. Okay? Alright, so we're going to go back to our table, and it saves the equation that you did before, so you can just type on over it, and we're going to write 8x plus 15. Remember, our x button was all the way down here. Okay? And then we're going to press enter, start at 0, step 1, auto, okay. Alright, so then our table of values, 0, 1, 2, 15, 23, 31. And so then those are going to be our points to graph. Okay. And now all we have left to do is to actually graph it. So on the bottom, number of shirts. And then on the top, I think I'm going to go by 5s. Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Alrighty. Okay, so we start at 15. All right, and this is money. So we start at 15, and then we are going to go up 8 over 1. So I probably should have gone by 8s, but that's okay. All right, so instead I might just plot the points that I have. So 1, 23, which is going to be about right here, and then 2, 31, it's going to be about right there. So as you can see, I'm kind of estimating, because I don't have those exact points, which is perfectly okay, all right? And then once you have at least 3 points, you can go ahead and make your arrow. Personally, I like 5 points, and later on it will have to be 5 points, but since we're just starting out, we're just gonna do 3, okay? Plus, I did my scale kind of weird. Alrighty, so that is page 35. We good? All right, we're gonna move on, and I want you guys to try the plumber and the cell phone charges. And tell you what, actually, no, just do plumber and cell phone chargers. So do the plumber, page 36, and do the cell phone charges for 37, and do them for homework, okay? And they will be due, we'll have them due, let's see, today is Monday. We'll have them due Wednesday. Okay. So both of them. Okay. Alrighty, and once you get that done, I will pass out your quiz review, and there will be a quiz review video to watch. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it during class or at the end of the day. So I guess you'll find out during class. Alright, see you guys.